All right, it looks like we are connected. Greetings. This is Tarot Lumination, and it is over here. It is the 25th. Over for you guys, most of you guys are in the United States right now, and it would be the 24th. It would be Sunday night for you. Anyway, so like we are doing with the other reports for love and relationship for March, we have to record these live because it's virtually impossible to do the uploads. For some reason, it uploads much faster and more simply when it's live, and so we just have to do that. So this one in particular is for you, Leo, and this is the March 2019 miniature love and relationship reports, okay? Now I want to get to some basics here. I'm showing you the astrodoodle for March because it's already in existence. I'm just laying it here as a reference point, but we're not going to spend really hardly any time with this because this is just going to be the tarot. I'd like to remind you that the astrodoodles for all signs for all of March are on a separate playlist, okay? So the next thing is regarding personal readings. If anyone wants one, you can check the links below and you will find the way to do that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Membership, of course, this is vital now for the way Tarot Lumination is morphing and changing and growing and adapting. Membership is more important than ever before. Next, of course, donations, however you want to do it, it's all welcome here. You can check the links below. There's an actual place to do it directly through the tarotlumination.com. Also, there's the super chat if anyone gets really excited, okay? So let's put this aside. We've done that. That's the introduction. Greetings. I see a few people are here. Thank you very much for being here. I'm going to be spending very little time hanging out with you guys on the chats or the super and things like that because I'm just literally recording these for the March Love and Relationship playlist. So this is the astrodoodle for March, and I will just point out this is sweet for you, this is relatively sweet for you, and towards the end of the month this is relatively beneficial and supportive for you, okay? So we'll get back to that if we have to. What I want to get into is the reading itself, primarily starting with the spread itself. I'm hoping that this little illustration that I made is going to help you guys understand the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread and why we use this. It's only a few cards, but it provides a lot of substance, okay? Now when you do this and you combine with the astrodoodles, you can have something substantial, like a good, sense of like a forecast, like watching the Weather Channel, okay? So the way it looks is a crucible is a structure that can withstand intense alchemical pressures like they use in laboratories. And human relationships are very, very similar. Intense alchemical reactions happen between significant others as we intimate and separate as we all do for infinite time in the context of relationship. So from the Tarot Illumination perspective, that's why we use this spread. This is the bowl. This would be you, this would be the other. And in an unconscious relationship, that's all that would exist. In other words, you're just running on autopilot and hormones, Over here, we go deeper into you, deeper the other, and to the core itself, the crucible, the relationship, okay? It is a third entity. It has its own life, energy, meaning, purpose. It radiates and transmits and receives energy just like you do, just like the other does. This thing is a living thing. So what is being nurtured here? What is being grown? What is it that you guys own? Think of this as a business, the business of you, okay, Leo? What is it that you own together with this other party and that what is being fostered? Over here, I like to think of this as the energy that is being transceived by you, the other, and the relationship itself. I'm going to pull a card for that as we go into it, okay? You'll see what we talk about when I pull the cards. Here we go. This is what it looks like. I'll show you in a moment how that translates to the reading. Thank you for your patience on the preamble to get this up and running for you. Let's clear the deck. Stage is cleared. Cards are well shuffled in advance. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Sorry about that. I'm playing very, very safe at the moment because things are very shifting very, very rapidly and constantly here at the World of Tarot Illumination. And by using this simple old deck, which has done thousands of readings, I get a sense of stability. We do have other decks, but for today, right now, we're just going to use this one. I hope you don't mind. Thank you for all of you who are here. Good evening, Christina. Thank you for showing up. I really won't be able to have much time to hang out. And we're going to do at least 3 reports tonight. So I'm going to be here for a while. Okay? Okay, so when you're watching these, I highly recommend that you bring in your invisible friends, your loved ones from beyond, your angels, your spirit guides, all of that. Even your lost pets from beyond. It's all made of love, the whole thing. All right, there we go. Well shuffled. Let's cut the deck. Cut it up nice and even tonight. Bless the deck. Bless the cards. Bless you, all the dear Leos out there who are watching this. Also, watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Also, cross-watching for significant others helps too. And by the way, I know some of you who watch these are singles. And this isn't strictly a singles spread, but you can allow for that. When you think of the laws of attraction, you're always transmitting and radiating and receiving energy. So the question is, what are you radiating when it comes to relationship? And in which case, how is the universe going to respond? The universe is like a big mirror in many ways, and what would be attracted back to you? So when we come to the other person over here, you could think of this as like what if energy. In other words, if something was to happen like right now, what would the story look like? Okay? Yeah. Christina Mullins, hi from Australia. Hi. Team Leo, yeah. Hi, Christina. You're a Leo too. Whoa. Well, this is kind of quirky. God, so you're getting like a personal reading live. Well, this is generic, okay? It gets a little more heavy duty when we do the personal ones. I think you know that already. I just screwed up. But see what happens when I look over at the chat, hang out? We already did the shuffle and the cut. All right, let's make amends. Here we go. Bless the deck. Bless every card. Bless all of you out there. Bless Tarot Illumination, the channel, the lights, the staging, the computer, the internet. Bless the internet. Okay, here we go. This would be you, dear Leo. This would be a significant other, deeper inside of you, deeper inside of the other, and at the core, the relationship itself. This is a third entity, okay? It's a living, breathing thing. It even has its own astrology chart, if you're that interested, and we can do that if you want. But that's heavy-duty readings. Over here, what is being fostered and nurtured? Think of this as the bowl. That is the crucible in which this relationship is happening. So it's like it's something like it's fermenting, like how they make wine, or how they brew whiskey, and things like that, or brew beer, or make bread. Things ferment and grow, and it's a living thing. It's like a plant. So let's have a look. This is the circumstantial energy. I was relating this to all of this out here. And what is, in other words, what is the environment in which we are swimming here? So what we have right now, by the way, a lot of people have been writing and asking, hey, what happened to all the videos? Well, right now, I'm just trying to record them because it takes me days and days and days to do this. And because these are longer readings than normal, what I'm doing is I'm recording them live, and then I'm switching them back to private to lock them all down until late tomorrow, when everything will be recorded, and then they will be made public, and we will have a full playlist just for love and relationship, okay? So please hang in for another 36, 48 hours, okay? All will be good, don't you worry, okay? So let's get back to you, Leos. What's the weather like? You have the Page of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords. My feeling here is that, to me, it looks like you're enjoying some good weather, which is triggering your desire to, let's say, look at yourself, look at your relationship, and almost like with a magnifying glass, getting in there. It's almost like you're taking advantage of the circumstances. I'm just going to do this very, very briefly. This, and this are very harmonious for you in your own ways regarding relationships, whatever else is going on in your life. But my feeling is that it's what you might be subconsciously sensing, that there's some good vibes for you, especially towards the end of the month when everything switches into the Aries energy. And this is a real time for you to start calling things out the way they need to be called out. Like, it's about time for Leo. It's about time I did this. It's about time our relationship did that. It's about time you did this. It's about time we have a really good look at our relationship and pull it apart, especially with Mercury retrograde coming up in Pisces. Pull everything apart and let's go dig deep down and let's like become rebel warriors and figure out what is not working. We're going to rip it out, shred it, and then whatever's left is what works, okay? So it's kind of an adventure. It's a little bit like I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of this. Like if I was in a very unhealthy relationship with a Leo and this energy was around us, I would be taking a few deep breathing exercise in preparation to handle this, okay? Remember, this is not a couple's reading. There's not two of you here right now. It's all about you, Leo, but we're factoring a significant other into the story. This is all about you, okay? Let's have a look. What are you radiating here? Yeah. Well, I think this is probably very much aligned with the Venus in Aquarius over in your 7th house, which is a moment of reprieve, of like, so in other words, there are moments in life when relationships actually work, when they are actually good, when there are moments, historical moments of harmony and balance where you can actually celebrate that. Also, because there is because Jupiter is in Sagittarius in your 5th house of lovey-dovey romance, okay? You know, the 7th house is like the serious, heavy-duty, contractual, chosen relationship where there's nowhere to hide. You get the best of each other, the worst of each other. Whereas the 5th house is much more to do with like the romance, the falling in love, being in love, having fun, hopefully staying in love. But when they work harmoniously together like that, this is something to celebrate. So you, Leo, maybe like lots of Leos, there might be a chance where you're seeing like one of those, like, you know, when you watch the weather or the Weather Channel and you get a break in the weather and everything just becomes absolutely gorgeous for a while. That's what I'm sensing here, and it's time to take full advantage of that. And even if it means you, Leo, are taking advantage of, let's say, the weather in order to do some whistleblowing on yourself, on the other party, and the relationship, that's good. In other words, it would be like a farmer, you know, basically saying, hey, honey, we got to take full advantage of this. We got to make hay while the sun shines. You can reinterpret that however you want. But the idea is that there's some sweet energies around for you at the moment, Leo, so you might as well take advantage of it. And it looks like you're already on it, okay? Truly something to celebrate. It may not necessarily mean you have this most amazing, delicious, romantic, rock-solid relationship. All I'm suggesting is that you might be sensing the good weather, which is a temporal thing. You know, this too shall change, and this is something truly to celebrate. Sometimes, for example, if you guys are having problems, but there's still an essence core of love, one of the fun things you can do is basically have like a fixer-upper date, where you basically say, listen, honey, we've got to talk. We've got some issues. You know I love you. I know you love me and everything, but we've got some serious stuff we need to take care of. Why don't we go out for dinner and do it properly? Or should we go on a picnic or a little, you know, a walk in nature or something? Enjoy it. I'll bring a bottle. You bring the can opener, the bottle opener, and the picnic table and the snacks and goodies, and we'll enjoy it. We'll actually enjoy the process of me, the Leo, shredding things, basically starting to call things out that need to be called out while we take advantage of the weather. Okay, so over here, what about the other? Okay, my feeling is that it's almost like, okay, well, I'm on board with that. That sounds like as good a plan as anybody could possibly have right now. Because my over here, it's just like I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know where this is going, because there is so much shifting happening around in the world, not just Leo, but in the world, which includes this person too, that they're in a position where it's almost like they are doing their own version of like what you could do in order to take advantage of the good weather. Okay, so it's almost like they're thinking, "Wow, I see what you're getting at, honey. I get it. I get it. Let me have a look. Let me look at my calendar. Let me look at my schedule. I got to think about this. How are we going to plan this? What are we going to do? Are you going to drop any like bombs on the relationship or me, or do I have to plan a lot? Is everything going to be good? Are we still good going into this? Because I'm in the relationship, but I need to know what's going on too. So yeah, let's do this. We'll do this thing. I will get on board with you and your moment of good weather, and I will be there as your mirror to help you figure out what you got to do about you, about me, and us in the relationship. And I will do the same thing in reverse, like a reciprocal thing, because I frankly need to know what's going on as well. I've got options. I've got other ideas. Maybe it's my time to have a enjoy the good weather with you. It might not be my own good weather, but if it's good for you, let's go for it. Sure, you know. You know, when they talk about having family discussions, or like relationship counseling and things like that, this is like a fun way to do it on your own. Like you set the rules up in advance and you say, listen, we're gonna get into this. I am the Leo, I'm calling it out, we're gonna do it, okay? And then they kind of go, yeah, you kind of struck a nerve? Sure, why not? Let's go for it. Let's have a look deep down inside of you. Okay, with the Emperor here, my feeling is that it's almost like you're actually enjoying this. You're actually really enjoying the whole idea of like becoming the boss of you more than ever before, to the point where it's like you can look in the mirror, male or female, whatever, and go kind of like, wow, I never knew I was that cool. I really never knew. Maybe I just needed some of this like freak momentary astrological weather to get the point, to get the picture, to get that clear moment of understanding. Not bad. I don't look too bad. That's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty awesome. I wish I felt this way the whole time, like I had like Masters of the Universe type of energy, and I could just wave my my whatever they call it, scepter, my scepter here, and hold up my orb and just decree, make declarations about what has to happen, why it has to happen, when, which I know is a little bit pompous and magnanimous, but damn, it feels good now and again to like feel in my power, because that's what I've been missing. I don't like being out of my power. I am a Leo. It is my job to be awesome. It is my job to radiate sun and light and happiness and fun and excitement and like passion and romance and creative self-expression. So deep down, I am yearning for that, and it's about time I got some of that. Thank you very much. I'm gonna go fluff myself in the mirror and get ready for our, let's say, meeting. Okay? Over here, deep down inside of them, what are they going on? Okay. You know what I felt at first was the very second I saw the Five of Cups here? This is going to sound a little, it's a little bit sad, but it's almost like the other parties over here is going to finally realize, uh-oh, I know what's going to happen. They're going to dig down. They're going to dig down. Leo's going to dig down, get into the real nitty gritty, the really, really tough stuff, the stuff that both of us have been sweeping under the carpet forever. And then with this Mercury retrograde stuff, they're going to start shaking the carpet up, lifting the corners, pulling back the blinds, opening up the attic, the basement, windows, and everything, and exposing all the stuff that doesn't work for them about me in the context of this relationship. And that scares me. That makes me feel very, very sad, because the reality is I do have problems with us, with me, with our relationship. There's definitely something not working. And I'm not sure if I'm actually really looking forward to being called out by the whistleblower, you, Leo. Even though it's probably good for me that this happens. It's probably good for me, the other party, to reveal this stuff in order for healing. Because, Leo, if you are with someone in some way where they have a lot of buried pain, grief, sadness, a sense of loss of love for whatever reason, that needs to be understood, especially if it's been buried and buried and buried and buried and pretending is like it doesn't even exist. Another thing, Leo, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but like when you're on a roll and someone else isn't, it can feel like a real downer for you when they can't like keep up with your roll. So you just keep going anyway, pretending like it's not happening, because nobody wants to be on a downer. Nobody wants that. They just want everything to be good all the time, and more and more and more and more. So if you are, let's say, enjoying for yourself personally a time period of good weather, call it good weather, to the point where it's just like you're just seeing this as good times for you, which means theoretically for the other and for the relationship, but they are not in that zone, then what can happen is you can get carried away with your own awesomeness, your own magnificence, your own wonderful self, which is your job, by the way, to be that, to the point where no insult to the other party and no insult to yourself, but they could feel diminished. They could feel very, very, like almost like inferior in comparison, and they wouldn't necessarily like want to deal with it or talk about it or point fingers at you or blame themselves. It's just a very deeply felt feeling. If when this is a separate energy here, but if you're going, as people intimate and separate, intimate and separate, intimate and separate, right there in the crucible. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, there we are in the crucible. And let's just say you're having a whoopee time. Everything that we talked about that's good for you right now for Leo, that's great. And over here, they are still relating with you, but deep down, they've got their own storyline, which is radically different from yours. They don't want to, put a damper on your light, your enthusiasm, your magnificence. And they don't really want that to happen to themselves. But the reality is there's something very wrong inside of them, which is probably very sad, very tender, very fragile, very painful, that they don't want to deal with, that they're not dealing with, that you might not even be aware of, which maybe you can sense like subliminally, which might be what's prompting you to go on a fact-finding mission and to do a little bit of vigilante work, because you might be sensing that something's wrong, even though you're in a great state here yourself. So please, Leo, consider this as a very fragile situation where you might have to be very diplomatic, very noble, very generous and kind towards a significant other, especially if you have a history of having a loving relationship. Okay, because you don't want to ruin that just by having such an awesome time that they kind of go walking away like, oh, it's all about you all the time, all day, every day. I never get my moment of glory. When is my moment of glory? When am I going to have the lovey-dove that we started with? So you know, for whatever reason. Maybe they are very compassionate. Maybe they are constantly giving love into the relationship, and you are just like, you might not even have been aware of it, and you're soaking it up like anyone would do, and having a good time. But they are feeling. My feeling is that they are feeling less than, and that's just how it is. Okay, let's have a look at the relationship itself. So with the Eight of Swords here, when you actually do start a little bit of archaeological digging, you know, relationship vigilantism, that kind of stuff, and you're actually in the process, even though you're coming into it with every best of intention, my feeling is that it's like a combination. I'll show you. My feeling is that there's all the sweet stuff, there's all the sweet stuff, there's all the sweet stuff for you. Forget about this for now. But the Pisces new moon up there, that's going to trigger stuff to do with deep intimacy, like the real depths of the relationship when it comes to deep soul merger, passion, sharing your body with another, the other party sharing their body with you. And things could be revealed in the relationship that become actually very puzzling. You start to realize, the more you dig in, you realize, oh my gosh, I'm sitting on a minefield. I knew there was something wrong. Damn it! So it's like, I'm glad I timing this to, you know, to go with some good weather, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. All it means is just like, it's a good idea for Leo, for everybody, frankly, to do these things now and again, where you do a self-diagnostics. You go vigilante. You turn vigilante on yourself, on the other, on the relationship, and it's basically like housekeeping. You know, you have to do that now and again. You have to just pull everything apart and say, listen, we got to dig into this and figure out what needs to be figured out. And what I feel is happening is that you end up discovering you have lots and lots of little niggly tiny issues that have been neglected or ignored, or just you've been oblivious. You, the other, everybody has just been oblivious to it. So it ends up as a very prickly kind of minefield where it can be very hard to navigate, okay, at the core level. You might be doing everything that seems okay on a three-dimensional level, but when you get deep into it, the way we've been talking about, you discover all the little tiny things that could, you know, correspond to the pain and the grief and the sorrow in a significant other. And then when you stretch the laws of attraction further, you could see that coming back to you, Leo, is that, wow, this is shared energy. Their grief, their sense of loss, sorrow, loss of love may be very legitimate, in which case you could start to examine yourself, you know, go vigilante on yourself and take responsibilities for, you know, so that both parties, in other words, you can't blame everything that you discover that's not working on your relationship on them. And they can't blame everything that's sad and miserable about them in the context of a relationship. They can't blame it all on you. These are issues that you guys own, like a company, okay? You own it. This is joint finances. I'm looking at the Pisces new moon and the retrograde. This is like corporate, like ownership, and you guys own this. It's not just you. It's not the other, but this is something that you own, and you're gonna have to figure it out. So I think it's very appropriate that we're sensing this kind of weather here. And if you take advantage of this and you understand the nature of this story and you kind of go for it, be very, very diplomatic, okay, Leo? You're going to have to be very gentle, subtle, diplomatic, and considerate of the other party in order to deal with this stuff without, you know, setting off any grenades or landmines, like blam. Because all of these are like, if you look at these, like lots of little landmines and grenades that could explode at any moment. You can diffuse all of this. All of this stuff can be diffused by very, very careful analysis, doing the vigilante work, and not just clumsily charging around in relationships and things like that, but actually getting deep into it and dealing with it. Yeah, literally just going vigilante on yourself and the relationship, okay? So what is being grown? Okay, so with the Eight of Cups here, my feeling is that this is almost like an oh no moment where both of you, well, this is all about you, Leo, but we're allowing for the other character here. So when you actually get into, let's say over March, especially towards the end of March, right at the very end, having lived through the Pisces new moon and everything culminating in the whatever it was, the Aries Libra thingy. Let me just double check. Yeah, this thing here, let you start here, 2 weeks later you end up here. That is a very important time period for you, Leo, to deal with this. So when you're dealing with that and you discover anything and everything and the nature and the definition of these landmines, these very, very prickly, delicate, awkward subject matters and issues that have been neglected, you can just realize like, aha, this is an explanation about like why, you could almost do it like philosophically, why we would want to go through a period of separation. It doesn't mean you're like there's any vindictiveness or malice between you and the other, but people subconsciously go through these waves of intimacy and separation, anyway. It can be done on a very subconscious level, and you can still be conducting your lives in 3 dimension, like going through the motions of relationship. Oh, you wake up together, you go to sleep together, eat, shop, work, day jobs, money, joint finances, making babies, having kids, homes, mortgages, car payments, all these so-called things of life that people share in relationship. But there is so much more. And in this situation here, my feeling is that it's basically like a worthy cause, going vigilante on yourself, on the other, and the relationship. You know, most people don't want to do that because they don't want to know what this is. They don't want to deal with it. They just want everything to be nicey all the time. And then hopefully maybe it'll just be, oh, it'll figure itself out. But no, you own this thing. And if you don't take care of this stuff, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So my feeling here is that you very delicately, diplomatically discover all the things, like make a list of everything that you together have determined that's not working, and then figure out the hows and the whys that they're not working, and bless them, and understand that you couldn't have had this kind of situation or this reading or had enough love to do this unless there was a certain degree of love in the first place. Because a lot of people, they wouldn't want to deal with this. They would just let everything fall apart and everything go until the relationship just kind of just goes and then there's nothing, okay? But my feeling here is that there must be something of value somewhere for you, Leo, to want to go into this, do the deep, deep intimacy work, the reevaluations, reassessments, reconfiguring, reprogramming, the reanalysis of everything, so that you can discover the source and the definition and the name of the pain, so that you can move on and go from there. But of course that means walking into the future, walking into the unknown, where neither you or themselves or the relationship has ever been before. But then again, this is evolution. Here at Tarot Lumination, and evolution is very, very important. We don't want to sit like stagnant, fossilizing, putrefying human beings. You adapt or die. You grow or die. You evolve or die, okay? I don't want to get too morbid here, but that's kind of what's going on here. And whatever wasn't working needs to be acknowledged. Bless the love that you have. Bless the love that you've shared. Bless yourselves in an unknown future and go for it, okay? Just go for it. Take the risk. Being loving and being loved, it involves like going above and beyond your average day-to-day relationship dynamic. It means you, Leo, having to be very magnanimous, generous, kind, diplomatic, and caring towards the other, towards yourself, and towards the relationship, knowing that you've already sensed it. There are prickly issues that have to be dealt with. Okay? So let's leave it at that. thank you very, very much, dear Leos. Like I said earlier, all this stuff, check the links below, all of those things, donations, membership, personal readings, all of that. Most of it's all in the links below, okay? Thank you so, so much. I'm going to wrap up this little video right now, and it's going to be stored on the channel in private mode until probably tomorrow evening. And then it'll all come back live again, and everybody can watch and enjoy once everything is in a nice big fat cluster, okay? So take care, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you so, so much. Thank you so, so much for hanging in and doing this with Tarot Illumination. I'm going to stop the stream right now. Bless your evening. And in a little while, I'm going to be coming right back with another fire sign reading. Okay? Bye-bye.